Whoops, let's do that again. We're live right now, officially. Hey, what up?
What up, people?
What was that?
That was my intro move.
Oh,
That was my. Do the intro, my love, would you please?
welcome to another episode of We're Gonna Have Words, where we discuss, debate, explore, and sometimes argue topics on life, love, relationships, and family. I'm your host, Mandy, along with my hubs.
E-dub. What up, everybody?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Happy
4th of July weekend.
4th of July weekend. That is
Yes.
correct. That is
Yes.
correct.
Well, I wonder if people are actually getting together. We're still chilling, y'all.
Some people might be. People are getting back out, starting to see each other a little bit more.
Yeah, if you've been vaccinated, you probably feel more comfortable.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And for the people that aren't vaccinated, they still going out anyway, as some of these restrictions lift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's going on, baby? How's it been the last couple of weeks? The last time we met, it was Father's Day weekend here. It was Father's Day weekend.
Oh, with the live, yes.
Yes, I had a very good Father's Day weekend.
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
All that is talking. You did. All
Well, I
that
mean,
is
you're
talking.
one of millions that did.
Oh, so you're saying that some of the dads didn't get no love?
That's right. Sorry about that, fellas. I know some of y'all out there didn't get the love. Just tell you ladies to do better in 2022. Tell them to do better. You know, if the fellas skip Mother's Day, let's see what happens then. Oh, there will be riots in the streets.
Sometimes fellas do skip Mother's Day. There's some men out there that don't show love.
Well, that's because you're not my mother. It's going to be time soon for your son to take over Mother's Day. I've been holding it down because, still young. But it's going to be time where it's going to be his responsibility to lead the Mother's Day charge.
I mean, I get that. But, when the kids are still young.
Yeah, for now. Time is coming. Tick tock, tick tock.
Same goes for Father's Day.
Whatever. What you got? Let's go on and jump into this topic this week.
Our topic is trigger words. Are you knowingly using trigger words with your spouse? And are you triggered? And how to identify and manage when you are triggered? Because some people don't realize they get triggered.
That's true. It's very easy.
Because you don't think you get triggered and you get triggered.
Who?
You.
Yeah, I definitely get triggered.
Yeah, but today you was like, you get triggered more than me. What?
Well, that's true.
No.
So
that's not fair.
Let's just pause for 1 second. Before we started, we wanted to write down some words that trigger us.
Oh, I ain't do that.
So we took notes. Well, your notepad looks a little bit deeper than my notepad.
Yeah, because I did a lot of research on the mental. Like I have experience catching trigger myself, but like I needed to find the words.
I have 3 words written down. You have 11.
I have 3 pages here.
Oh my goodness.
No, I have. Yes, it's 3 pages
of words that trigger you.
No, of the understanding of the whole concept.
Well, let's get started because we don't have all day. The people don't have all day, so let's get your 15 trigger words out the way.
You know what? You are something else.
I'm just saying we have to
I'm triggered right now.
Let's start right away.
So in case you don't already know trigger words in particular, now you could be triggered by people and situations, but we're specifically talking about trigger words or phrases, because in communication, sometimes that's a block for us. So basically, a word or a phrase that causes the listener to feel strong emotions because of previous experiences. So that's either or. I say something, he feels an emotional response, a big emotional response.
Okay. So what's your first word?
That's what I said I didn't do. I did the research.
So what just pops into the top of your head? Because I wrote mine down, so I'm ready. What's the first word that pops into your head when you think about something that I might say that triggers you and gets you riled up?
You don't have to give me a minute to ponder that. Because no word comes.
What if I called you a chick?
No, I'm not really
That wouldn't.
semantics.
Okay.
I'm not sensitive to that. Some people are though. Some women may be like, don't call me a.
Is that short for chicken head?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not thinking so.
What if I mean, a chick is a baby chicken.
Because I may
So-
be like, hey, what's up, chick? You know, like friend,
Well,
chica.
that's okay if a girl says that to another girl, but if your spouse or your boyfriend calls you a chick,
Oh, I don't think.
okay.
I mean, I think that if you would be like, hey, chick, I would be like, oh, what's, because you don't use that word.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
there are certain words, like there are dirty words that just words that you can use. You could use a regular word, and you could use another word that makes it more strong or whatever. What you?
So someone said hi.
Oh, hey.
What's going on? So
Let's see who it is.
Since you don't want to divulge your words, let's go ahead and get started with mine. My first word is picky. You call me picky all the time, and I don't like it.
Oh, he's sensitive.
But let me tell you why I don't like the word picky and give a little context.
Okay.
So typically when you're using the word picky, we're talking about food and what I will and will not eat.
No, I say about everything.
That's not true. So as I'm sure the people already know, you don't eat meat. So that means you have to find other alternatives to get protein.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't mind that you eat plants and grass and stuff for a living. I mean, for
a living.
I mean, for
sustenance.
For sustenance, it's okay.
Wow, and I don't eat grass. I'm not out in the yard. Like, don't worry about mowing the lawn. I got you.
Kale is grass. So
kale is not grass.
I don't mind that you eat that stuff, but the problem arises when you want me to try something, and I try it.
Somebody said if you're mad at your spouse, I think you can say chick.
There might be space for that somewhere. So you want me to try something, and I say, "Oh, I don't want to." And you say, "Oh, you so picky. Why don't you just try this? Why don't you eat this?"
I am messing with you though.
No, you're not, because you've been doing that for years. And I say it's not that I'm picky. I've tried.
You don't want me to tell the Spanish story, do
I've tried this thing that you're trying
Y'all
to
don't
get
know
me
the
to
Spanish
eat.
story?
We'll come back to the Spanish story. So you're trying to get me to eat something that I don't want to taste because I already know that I don't like it. It's not that.
How you know you don't like it? Because you be like, oh, no thanks. And
I've
I'm like,
tried things that you don't know that I've tried. I am a man of the world.
No, I'm saying whenever I be making the plant-based stuff.
Did you hear
like
that?
the non-meat stuff. What?
I am a man of the world. I'm well-traveled. I've tasted different foods. I've been in different countries. There are a lot of things.
with that. For real. Like, okay.
There are a lot of things that I've tried that you don't know that I've tried.
Listen.
So when I say I don't want to try that, I've had it before, I don't like it, that doesn't make me picky. That makes me selective. Now, I would think that you would appreciate my selectiveness because
you're being selective when you chose me.
Because you.
Anyway, don't try to flip that.
You're so silly. I'm being selective when I I don't like to say I chose you because that's not really how it went.
Uh-huh.
People say that. Oh, I chose you. I don't really like that phrasing, but
I chose
that's what
you.
happened. Anyway, um, the definition of the word picky
Oh,
is choosy. Yes, that's right. I'm definition.
go ahead,
Choosy,
Webster.
careful about choosing things, and selective. Does not make it bad. Next word. Let's go. I'm ready. Aggressive.
Mm,
Oh, that is a word you like to use a
I
lot.
do.
That's why you're smirking right now.
But I even use it with the bird.
No. Context again.
Mm.
No, let's talk. Let's talk to the people.
Oh,
So there are
gotta put the business
times.
out.
No, let's put the business out. There are times when we are in the mood of getting ready to have some intimacy. Okay, I didn't say sex. I said intimacy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your defense, 9 times out of 10, it might be me in the mood and not you. But that's not the point. So I will, get next to you and hug you and touch on you, rubbing you and stuff like that, right? And in the moment, you won't say anything, but later on, you will say something to use the word, oh, well, you were being aggressive when you was grabbing on me and touching on me and stuff like that. And I don't like it when you say that. So
I mean, I
that
think
is
you have
a
to give more
trigger.
context for that
That is a trigger word for me.
because I have said that you don't know your own strength with me sometimes,
Mhm.
and you a little rough.
Definition time again. Aggressive.
Because
Likely.
like you like
Pause
no
for the
wait
definition.
because you like pull me close, and I like the pull close thing, but you're a man, and then you squeeze me a little too tight, or you like mush me or whatever. I have uh breasts and skin and stuff, and so when you just squeeze too tight, it's like, oh, all right.
Definition. Likely to attack, or confront. That is what the word aggressive means. This is why I don't like it. I like to say that I am affectionate with an objective.
That don't make no sense.
It does make sense. I'm being affectionate, and my objective is to show you some love, be close to you, and if the moon and the stars align and it's not rainy outside and it's not cloudy outside and
Really?
your stomach is not hurting, then maybe, some other thing
Oh, it's like that, huh?
might happen. Fellas,
It's like that.
I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
And ladies,
Okay.
I know you know what I'm talking about when if there's been times where you show your man a little affection and all of a sudden that means, oh yeah, I'm gonna get
go
some
time.
booty. Yeah, no. And then you get it in your head.
You know what that is?
No.
Frank the Tank. From old school. It's a movie. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, it's like they get tunnel vision and then they think this is what we're gonna do, and that's where we're gonna go. And then next thing you know, they're trying to sling you around like you're a rag doll or whatever. And ow, that hurts.
But I'm not being aggressive though. I'm just, trying to
What
show
if
you
that's
that
my
love.
experience? What if I feel like that is aggressive and you're
Find a different word.
Pursuance of me.
Find a different word. See, that's the
But
other.
I haven't used it since we have. Let's let the people know that we have talked about this particular word, and I haven't really used it.
Why haven't you used it? Because I told you I don't like that word.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to respect when someone says, hey, so that word feels wrong to me. Like, I feel away. Then, this is where it takes me. This is what, I feel. And then, your partner is supposed to hear that and then not try to purposely.
So what did you replace it with?
I don't know.
Because you still think it. Because I haven't.
No, because I said, then I changed to narrow focus.
Wait a minute. I don't like that either.
Tunnel vision.
I'm about to write that down. Add that to the list.
Where's the camera? Okay. Tunnel vision.
I'm adding that to the list. I'm adding that to the list too. Narrow focus. It's aggressive adjacent. I don't like that either.
It's getting added. No, it's not.
It's getting added to the list.
Because you can't, because there's a point in time where you can't see anything. You just like, it's just like sex. I don't know if I can do that in the camera. Sex. There it is.
Yeah, but you know what it is. But you try to act surprised like you don't know what it is, my objective that I'm going for. And so in the moment, because you may not necessarily be feeling in the mood the way that I'm in the mood, you start using words and start having feelings
Don't be mad at my
that have
vocabulary.
negative connotation to them.
All right, but that, like I said though, I heard you and I don't use it. So
You still think it.
What?
In the moment, you're thinking something, you're feeling something.
No, I mean, but that has to be addressed too. It's not just the word being used. Like, okay, well, the reason why I use this word is because A, B, and C, and so that's what needs to be addressed. Of course, the reason why I feel compelled to use the word. So, because sometimes it's just the word. That's just the word I'm using.
Correct. But what are you feeling? So you're not using the word, but the same thing happens again or it looks the same way. And so you're feeling it inside of you. So in that moment, you're having a conversation with yourself. You have an internal conversation. Oh, he's being aggressive right now. But you don't say it because you know I don't necessarily like the word. And you're feeling a thing. So what do you replace it with?
Other words.
Give me an example. Not narrow focus. You're not thinking to yourself while you're laying there, oh, he has a very narrow focus right now. What are you thinking to yourself? Or what are you feeling when you're actively engaged in that moment?
Tunnel vision.
That's what you're thinking? He has tunnel vision right now?
Tunnel vision. You can't see other than the object of what your desire that you want to accomplish.
Right.
You're focused.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that one.
But we haven't had to have that conversation.
Hold on. And check that off and come back to that. Word number 3. Now, this is not specifically related to you. It's just a word that I am trying to not use in the same way that I used to use it before.
Mm-hmm.
And that word is sacrifice.
We talked about this.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about
sacrifice? And yeah.
Well, it's still there. The word hasn't gone any place.
So you still feel the way about it?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. That's all right. I haven't dealt with it completely all the way. I'm still trying to work through and figure out how I'm going to, get past it in the way I feel about it and how it makes me feel.
What does it mean
people
for
say the word
you?
Sacrifice?
When people say they sacrifice for you, or for you using the word, because it could be.
Well, so
like, what's triggering for you for the word sacrifice?
So people use the word sacrifice in a way that means they're not doing something or giving up something because they deem something else more important.
Yes.
So the question is, why is it more important? How does it distinguish itself from other things? Does it mean that at the moment only that thing is the most important, or is the most important overall?
Okay, so when someone is talking to me, like if you come to me and you say, oh, well, I sacrifice, let's say military, for instance, right? And you're like, oh, well, I'm sacrificing, my freedom to do whatever I want because I'm in the military, whatever. Like if we had that conversation, of course, your tone and all of that considered, but that would be like, so, I mean, you saying you doing this for me? Because, it's almost like you want to get defensive because someone's saying to you, I sacrifice this for you, implies that they've given up something for you. And the fact that they're mentioning it in that way implies that maybe they feel away, maybe they regret, maybe they don't want to, or they felt forced to do so.
So let me ask you a question.
I can say, being a military spouse, I realized that what came with the territory and us moving all the time is that I sacrificed the ability to make roots somewhere and hone in on a career and climb the career ladder. But I can say that within myself that I know that came with the territory. Like if I'm talking to someone else, if I say that to you, you might feel away.
Right. Now, do you think that saying or using the word sacrifice because you made a choice or a decision to continue down a particular path. Is sacrifice the right word? Now let's flip it for 1 second, then we'll come back to that.
Mm.
Let's say it's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
We in the room. We in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
You tired.
Mm-hmm.
But according to you, I'm being aggressive. Okay.
Are you just trying to use all your trigger words in one scenario?
And
go ahead.
You might be tired. However, you already know what my objective is. So we handle our business. The next day,
I sacrificed my sleep.
you sacrificed your sleep.
I gave up my sleep.
You gave up your sleep and sacrificed your sleep for some loving.
What have you done for me?
For some loving that both of us enjoyed. And you would use the word sacrifice in that same manner. Now, completely different context.
I would not.
You wouldn't use the word sacrifice?
Huh?
You do say that. Let me give you something women say all the time. I sacrifice my body for these kids or this kid. Right? Now, if you go off the definition of the word sacrifice.
If you listen to the way that it's being said, she feels underappreciated for the toll that it took on her body for the kids. So that's a clear indication.
Okay.
So when someone says to another person, I sacrifice this for you, it's a clear indication that they do not feel appreciated for the
whatever the act that took place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever they gave.
Who was that on?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily on anyone because, like how I said, like I say to someone, I understand that the sacrifice of my career because being in the military life, moving around all the time, whatever, right? I could say that comes with this territory, but I'm not saying it in such a way where I'm regretful because I have made a decision to do so. Just like if you were to say like that scenario about you sacrificing being in the military, I'm like, did you do that for me? Or because you bringing it up to someone makes it seem like you are regretful for it. You ultimately still make the decision because no one forces you to sign a paperwork.
You're making a choice.
Yeah, so you make a choice. It's just that it could be said in generally, but usually when you're telling another person you sacrifice something for them, it's because you feel underappreciated about it.
Right. Now, why it's a trigger word for me is because of how I still think about the word myself is what I'm trying to change. So if I hear someone say, oh, I sacrificed whatever this thing is, naturally, because I was in the military, I would go to a place and saying, you don't really understand sacrifice, right? This because
to whom?
No, this is how I think.
Oh,
or how I feel, not how I think, just how I feel. No, let's say I'm in a conversation with someone, and the person says, "Oh, I have to sacrifice X." Okay, and in my estimation of things, that's not really a sacrifice. That's not really. You didn't really give up anything. You made a decision. But because I was in the military, because I served in the military, my own choice, of course, and I actually had to give up certain things, certain freedoms and liberties. When a person says to me, oh, I had to sacrifice this, it doesn't resonate with me in the same way.
Well, I feel when someone says,
that's how it triggers me.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily trigger me, in that way, right? It triggers me in the sense that because I'm still trying to change how I feel about it myself is, oh, you didn't really sacrifice anything. You didn't really give up anything because you don't know what sacrifice is. So why are you using that word?
That's not fair.
I know it's not fair, but I'm working on
someone else giving up something that they find important to them because we will give up things for something else if it means something for us.
Right.
We give up like, okay, you wanted a steady paycheck, you wanted to serve your country, you know what came with the territory. So whether you're with me or not, that was your decision.
Correct.
Right? So you give up your freedom in a sense. You sign you being told where to go, when, how, what. When you come out and you say, oh, I sacrificed these things inside yourself, well, I did this for this.
Right.
So you know what you gave up. If someone comes out and says, oh, you're saying to someone else, you don't know what sacrifice is because I sacrificed this, but whatever they gave up might be very important to them. So you
Right.
can't really
Yeah,
like say,
I'm being judgy. I'm still working on it.
oh,
I don't
okay,
even tell
okay.
them if
You're
I'm
just
speaking
thinking
to
it.
someone. I don't even say,
Oh, he judgy.
I'm a work in progress. Okay.
Mm.
I'm not all the
We
way there.
all are.
Not all the way there. I'm still working on myself. I don't even say what it is I sacrificed. I just take what the person said to me, and I determined in that moment that whatever they said was not as much as a sacrifice as what I've sacrificed. But like you said,
Oh, you think you better than
no,
everybody.
nope, it's not it at all. But just like what you said, whatever the thing is they gave up, could have easily been their biggest thing that they had to give
Yeah.
up, that
Their
they
biggest
had to put
sacrifice.
aside
Yeah.
to get whatever it is they were trying to get or whatever it is they were trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so everybody's entitled to that, right? You get
Mm-hmm.
to make your own decisions about your life and do whatever it is you want to do. And nobody gets to tell you how to do that. Okay. I mean, especially once you got the house. You know, when you live at home with your parents, you got to do what your parents ask you to do. But once you're out, you're an adult and you're out in the world, you get to decide and do whatever it is you want to do. And I think we all, just to use the word, I think we all sacrifice or make decisions
Mm-hmm.
for things in our life to wherever we're trying to get to, wherever we're trying to go. It could be something as small as, oh, I got this job. It takes me an hour to get to this job, but I have to have this job because it pays me the amount of money that I need to sustain and live and
Mm-hmm.
provide for
Mm-hmm.
my family.
Mm-hmm.
So a person could easily say, "Oh, I'm making a sacrifice of getting up every morning at 5 o'clock and driving in traffic or hour to make it to the job so I can make this money to take care of my family." A
Right.
person could easily say that that is a sacrifice.
Yes.
Okay, so
But
that
I think it's
same,
the thought process behind it
mhm,
too. So if you feel like very strongly, like if you get up every morning, you're thinking, "Oh, this is a sacrifice," then it's kind of like
right,
it's some negative and almost like you're planting the seed of resentment in
mhm,
yourself because then you'll start to look at whomever you feel like you're sacrificing for
yeah,
as like the enemy in a sense, like all the things I did for you.
because you could look at your family two ways when you leave in the house in the morning. It's early,
Yes.
they're asleep, all tucked in, snoring. House is quiet. Now you can walk past them and give them the mad face and just be like, can't believe I'm
Y'all
getting up at
sleep.
5 o'clock in the
Wow.
morning.
Y'all
Y'all in here
sleeping
sleeping all
peacefully.
comfortable and stuff and wake up whenever you want to. And I got to be out here in these streets at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing it. And you can just go down that road.
Yes, absolutely.
Or there's the other way,
Right.
which you can get up and say, this is what I got to do because these are the people that I love.
Right.
It is my charge to take care of them, be the man of the house or the woman of the house, and I have to go do what I have to do to make sure these things keep moving.
Right.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how you flip it, and I'm working on myself in the way that I view it as well. But especially those three words, because you say you aggressive, you say picky, or call me bougie. Um, sacrifice. Those are my three. So what do you have?
Hmm. S-
You have all those notes over there, and you're not ready.
No, I mean, I just didn't write down trigger words. So what I'll do is I will talk about ways you can be triggered um and then I'll give like a personal example.
Sure.
All right. So one is your beliefs and values can be triggered by words, right? So let's say if you have a particular religion and I counter that. Let's say I believe in God and you don't. And those things are like sensitive subjects, but if you're like, no, there's no God, and I might feel, strongly about that, and I may be responding in a way where, you know, I feel challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens sometimes. And I think that comes from a place where people don't feel comfortable with respecting other people's point of views. You know what I mean? I mean, there's one thing, like if we're sharing and you say, let's say if you're talking to a person that has a different religion or believes in something else spiritually, and I believe in something, and we can have like a conversation and talk about it and respectfully respect the others' opinions or beliefs. And then you have sometimes with some situations where people try to counter and attack. You know what I mean? No, it's wrong. Your view is wrong. You could be triggered that way.
So, but before you go on,
Mhm.
there has to be something. There has to be some word that a person can say that I can say that just when I say it and it hits your ears, it makes makes your skin crawl, it makes you tingle, it makes you want to turn
What
into
did you
the
say?
Incredible Hulk or something like that because I've crossed the line. Now, I don't call you out your name.
No.
We don't do that.
Right.
In this house. We argue, but we still try to have respect for each other.
Right.
So it's not anything like that.
We try not to hit below the belt.
That's correct. We try to fight fair.
Right.
We do fight, but we try to fight fair.
Right. So we don't like go for jugular veins or any kind of vulnerability that we've shown each other. We don't use that, throw it in each other's face.
Right.
But sometimes there are trigger words like based on different like experiences, particular with your relationship or even your experience outside of your relationship.
Okay. So there's got to be a word. I
know
there's something in there.
There's necessarily like a word, but I think there's like something you could say that would make me be like, what, respond in such a way. Like the whole prompting thing, you like, what did you said something to me? I was in the middle of doing something yesterday and you asked me, did I do something?
I was asking you, we were making pizza and I was asking you, are you going to put the pizza in the oven?
No, I think I was cooking your chicken and you asked me had I put the pizza in the oven.
Right.
And in my mind at that moment, I was like, don't you see I'm cooking your chicken right now? And, and I had to, and I'd be like, no, babe, I'm right here flipping your chicken. So I can't put the pizza in the oven.
But I didn't prompt you. I just asked you a question.
Yeah, but that for me
was a trigger.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So to try and take that,
because see, so you'll say, did you do something?
So it's a phrase, not necessarily a word.
Right.
Okay.
And so depending on the situation, did you do something? When I'm in the middle of something, it's like, obviously, if it's right there and I'm doing this, no, I ain't did it. And so you could do it. You know what I mean? you go ahead, you do it while I'm flipping your chicken. So those are things, but that is because of a narrative I have in my head, right? And so that's where I understand that's where I'm triggered, because that's a thought process or a story or narrative I'm telling myself in my head. Oh, I guess I'm just supposed to do everything then. I guess I'm supposed to be over here doing your chicken and doing this, cutting up the salad, doing the pizza, all at the same time. What you doing? Just standing there.
Well, anyway, I wasn't just standing there.
I'm just saying, but that's what's going on in my head.
So you're triggered more by phrases and questions than specific words.
Yes, especially words can be used in such a way with tone and all of that to imply something. And if it implies a particular opinion or idea that I think that you're trying to say, I might feel a way about it.
I know you don't like it when I say nope. If you ask me a question and I say nope or nah, you think I have an attitude.
Or you say yup.
Right. You think you automatically connect that to
put some respect on it.
Having an attitude.
Yes.
See, there are things that trigger you.
No, but yeah, but there are things that you don't say that trigger me too.
Like what?
When you don't say stuff.
You mean anything at all? If you ask me a question and I don't respond, I never do that. Or you mean if you're asking
when I'm talking to you and you don't say uh-huh.
Oh, you mean if I take too long to respond? Right. No, that's because I'm listening. You have a clock in your head.
No, because
you have a clock in your head. If you ask me a question, I need to respond.
I'll just be talking not about anything in particular. It's not like we're having this like deep conversation or anything like that. And I'll just be talking while we're doing something. You're sitting at the table, and I'll just be in the kitchen doing something, whatever. And I'll say, yeah, I'm thinking, right? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm talking to you.
That's because you have a clock in your head about how fast
I mean,
I
but
should
it's just
respond to your
like
question.
basic communication that you would be like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, right. Right. Especially because I leave it open ended. I'm like, right? Or you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Crickets. Not even crickets. Crickets like. So another trigger point, trauma. When you're being reminded of a traumatic experience, we can react unexpectedly in ways based on that trauma, and especially if you're suffering from something like PTSD is a good example of, like 4th of July, there's fireworks happening. So a sound, particularly for this one, words or phrases that can take you back to a traumatic situation. Now, it doesn't have to be as strong or as serious as like someone who's been to war, but if you've been if you've had some type of emotional trauma, because let's say for me, right, for or any relationship for that matter, if like I'm just go ahead and be transparent on this one. So we were talking a few nights ago about a long, 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 long time ago. A picture surfaced of him with another chick with his arm around her waist. Remember that conversation?
I remember.
So we were joking about it though, but
no, I was joking. You weren't joking.
No, what I'm saying, it didn't turn. It turned into something serious for me because I was triggered. I was so triggered because it took me back to that place that I where I felt that that green jealousy, kind of envy, like and I got serious because I chop your hand off, do that shit again.
Whole lot of threats was coming out of your mouth,
right? And so, but I found that it was like messing with my mental, and I had a conversation with myself. Now he don't know this, but I had a conversation with myself. I'm like, girl, that happened like so many years ago. Why are you treating it like it just happened today? Like you're just talking about it. Like, let's be realistic and, reel it in. There's no reason for us to be, feeling a way about something that happened so long ago. We've made so much progress. So we're so much closer now, and just things are not like how they were then. So that's an example of how I pulled back from that. Another, let's say, preservation of our egos. Any threat to our ego in part or whole can be a trigger point for most people. Case in point, this one here. I think I know who this is. Jealousy is a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of you're human, and we all have insecurities. And sometimes those insecurities, take center stage, and we have trouble reeling it in. Mainly, you need to know that you are valuable being a person. No, what do you think this is?
I have no idea.
Brandon. um, so yeah, so feeling jealous is like understanding that. Why do you feel jealous? You feel threatened in a particular way. Why? And you got to figure that out. That's like the self-reflection part, and I'm about to get into that. So there are particular signs that you've been triggered, like physical signs like trembling, racing heart, nausea, feelings of like detachment and disassociation and unreality, sweating, chills, followed by emotional reactions like hatred, anger, grief, disgust, shouting, and insulting. Oh, it's Miguel. Hey, Miguel.
What up, Miguel?
And crying.
A loyal listener and viewer.
So the point is that let's say someone says something that does trigger a feeling inside. There are ways where you can identify those triggers. Do you want to add something before I go on?
Oh no, do your thing.
All right.
Because I don't
So,
try to identify. I just react and respond.
well, that's not
No,
that's not necessarily healthy.
I ain't got
So
time for preparation. I just
let's take that
deal with it.
the picture scenario for an example. I paid attention to what I was feeling and thinking. Now it got a little too far because I actually started to respond with, joking threats, right? But I did realize that, I was trying to read before I went to bed. So I found myself, not really being able to focus on what I was reading. And so I was like, wait, girl, what are you doing? So I realized that it was hindering my peace of mind. So let's pull this back, reel it in, but you have to become self-aware and mindful of your body and your experience and your reactions. So paying attention to your body and its reactions, clenched fists, racing heart, hot and cold flashes, write that down. We're going to talk about, I know this is going to be like a little counseling, little session here. You write that down, note it. Note your thoughts and be aware of your thought process around the situation or person, because it could be a situation, person, or words, and pay attention to the story or narrative going on in your mind. See what I was thinking? No, he didn't. I'm gonna chop that hand off. Let that shit happen again. I remember how I felt then. Okay.
I wasn't scared.
We're not talking about whether if you were scared or not. We're talking about it doesn't. Let's make this clear. This is not about the other person. This is about what's going on within you. All right. Note what and who triggered the emotion, noting what caused the reaction and its relation. This one in his very old behavior.
You like to bring up old stuff.
But still, though, I mean, it's important to note because then you can correct it, right?
Right.
All right. So, and what happened prior to? Were there any prerequisites? Like, were you feeling stressed or tired, or the environment that you were in, or were you uncomfortable? Make sure you note it so that you don't put yourself in that position again. It just so happened we were in the comfort of our own home. We was just talking about something else, and that came up, and it was not really related to any kind of prerequisite thing, but I caught it. And so being triggered actually is an indication that some of your needs were gone unmet. Whether that is like love, feelings of love, safety, respect, control value, feeling needed, peace, attention, acceptance. So once you can identify those, then you can work on it.
Page 7.
You got jokes. All right. So how to manage? Well, all that I just said, and you have to learn to reprogram those beliefs and thoughts with compassion and substitute them with positivity.
Are you charging for any of this? This is like, some positive stuff you're putting out that I feel like
No, I mean,
a therapist would be giving out that, you could charge for.
I'm not charging for this.
You may have missed your calling.
I might have, but I'm here right now. And let me be fully transparent. I don't post this so much on the podcast because we talk about relationships and stuff, but on my Instagram and my personal Facebook, I post about this stuff because it is it's important to me. I have experience with this very thing, and I don't talk about stuff I don't personally have experience with, whether if it's like, you know what, I'm taking on somebody else's behaviors as like that's my business, and it's not. So if it is messing with my peace of mind, I'm learning to let it go. And these are all the processes that are allowing me to be the best me I can be. So what I then do is then share that. And then hopefully if it's valuable to someone, they can also look into it, maybe self-reflect and find that brings them more peace too. So
isn't it so crazy how you could be triggered just by hearing or seeing something that has nothing to do with you at all?
Yes.
you hear something or somebody's telling you a story or something, and maybe it resembles something that you experienced in your life, and then boom, you're right back into a place
Mm-hmm.
where you were before. Maybe it doesn't last long, but it takes you back there for a moment. And this is something we've talked about, not on the podcast, but just you and I, about minding your business, right?
Yes.
About how it's so easy for us naturally as people to um empathize, right,
Mm-hmm.
with other people, and then you find yourself taking some of that stuff on while you're in the middle of it, and it's someone else's journey, it's someone else's story, but by you letting it in, it triggers something inside of you that may have happened before.
Right.
And then subsequently, what happens is you are unknowingly taking something out on your spouse and can't figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
How did I get here?
Yeah, I've done that before.
You didn't do anything to me. You didn't say anything to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I responded in a way
Because you've
that
been
was
preoccupied with something going on and feeling a
exactly,
way about someone else's
exactly.
behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a message to everyone. I'm going to look directly into the camera. Mind your business. I didn't say don't listen to other people when they want to talk to you, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mind your business. And when I mean your business, I mean your mental, you know what I'm saying? Your mental health and your
Right.
mental thought processes and your emotions. Mind that, because that's what I mean by your business.
Mm-hmm.
Mind that stuff so you don't allow other people or other situations that don't have anything to do with you directly to
Mm-hmm.
trigger you and put you in a place where it's affecting your relationship.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's actually relevant to a post I just posted earlier about just being responsible for yourself, right? Sometimes, you know, and I think women can relate to this more, but we put ourselves in this like, oh, I'm a people pleaser or I'm a caretaker, and somehow we fixed ourselves to think that, oh, yeah, that's to be praised, right? But what we do is we take it too far. We take it too far, and then we are almost like enabling, or we are taking on other people's messiness, uh, and anticipating it, and then feeling a way about it, and
Mm-hmm.
then like, oh, what if this person does this or does that, or even when it comes down to dealing with family members with alcoholism or addiction, you begin to take on those things, and um, actually the person that is not the addict or the alcoholic actually still lives with those um, repercussions or consequences even after the alcoholic becomes sober or the addict is sober. That person still lives in those behaviors. So it's almost like you put your own feelings, your own life to the side to help quotations, because it's not really helping others, or really what you're trying to do is control, and then you blame the other person for your lack of peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the management, you reprogram those thoughts and replace those thoughts, those negative thoughts, with positive thoughts, and you act as if you believe the positive thought. So I may not believe it right now in this moment because I feel the way that I feel because I've been triggered, but I'm going to say that, I mean, I could easily reel it in that day because I am to a point where my management has become a little easier for me. But there's been times where I don't believe it, but I'm gonna say it because these things are different. Things are gonna be better. I'm enough. That kind of thing. When you're having those, telling yourself those positive affirmations in the beginning of your healing, even if you don't believe it yet. And of course, as I always say, work with a therapist or a coach and seek guidance to help and assist identifying the root cause.
Do you remember that movie Two Can Play That Game? Vivica Fox, Morris Chestnut,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
There's some other people in there. And you remember they were talking about the game, and one of the things she talked about was the transference of energy. Anthony Anderson was talking about it in the scene that transference of energy. So
Yeah,
that
that's a little
transference of
stupid though.
energy. No, it's funny. It's a funny movie, but it's real. That transference of energy can happen through the phone, through text, through
It's a
emails.
game
Right.
though.
No, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm just saying the
Oh,
phrase transference of energy.
oh,
How
absolutely.
you can take something that, somebody else was negatively feeling and they've now put that on you and you think, oh, it's gone. It's not gone. It's now in you.
Nope,
And then you take that and you come home and you try to push it off
I disagree.
on you disagree with what?
I disagree because that person doesn't put it on you.
Mhm.
You took that on.
Okay. That's fair.
Because can't nobody make you do anything. You allowed that person's energy to be.
Happens a lot though.
Yes. I mean, there are those people though that if you talk to them, you're gonna feel like totally like depleted and
Mhm.
exhausted. And it's because, maybe the energy that they have is just like, oh man, you just told me like a bunch of I was happy when I got on this phone call. Now I'm not.
Right.
Um
Right.
um
Got me feeling down.
right. Like you're like,
I
oh.
need to go cut somebody out.
Like, yeah, there's just some people that I call vampires that will just like suck all the positive energy out
That's
of
a
you.
good way to describe it.
And if you allow it, but if you follow me personally, I'm in the business of or I'm not in the business of forcing anybody to do anything. I am in the business of being in control of myself, and therefore I have the ability to deny access to me.
You know what I believe though is that the people that you really know and that know you won't do that or won't necessarily try to do that. Now
What do you mean,
I could
try what?
try to be a vampire.
Oh, these people
Now,
don't know they vampires.
I could be wrong.
No, because people
about
don't
that, but
know.
they don't know they're vampires.
Not always.
You don't think when people are
Nope.
trying to,
Mm-mm.
they're dealing with something, so they're trying to get it off of them, right?
Mm.
And because I'm not talking about venting, that's different. I'm talking about, just trying to like bring you along with their misery and try to pull you in that because they're by them. Maybe they feel like they're by themselves in it. So now I need to pull somebody, suck that blood, right?
So
I need to pull somebody else into it with me.
So here's the thing, like a situation like that would be like someone calls you and they heard such and such was talking about them, and so they feel upset about whatever such and such said. And so you're like, oh wow, maybe you should just not pay attention. Well, let me tell you what they said about you then. That's the kind of like reeling, like let's be in this together. Or they don't even they just like, and what they said about you was, and normally it's like, people, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, if you call in somebody telling them this is what such and such said about you, why are you letting them talk about me in front of you like that? Or why did they feel comfortable doing that?
We're supposed to be tight like that.
Yeah, you feel so loyal as to come to me and tell me what they said, but what did you say when they were saying that?
In my defense,
right? So you have those, and you can just sort that out, and it comes with time. I said to someone recently, like once you get on the path to recognizing and loving yourself and recognizing your self-worth, things will start to fall into place, and you'll look back at the times where you're like, man, that was not good for me, and I'm not going to allow that to happen again, because you realize you are in control. And I think that's what people miss, that you are in control. You don't have to allow people access to you like that. You could put up a wall, even if you have to be around that person. Let's say somebody at work, you could put up a wall where that person, that whole I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say.
right.
Yeah.
And not let them get to you.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean,
you know what I'm trying to do now, or try to work on now, as far as things that's triggering.
Yeah.
Is I'm trying to, at the top of my day, not create anything that I have to deal with at the end of my day. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Taking thought about when I wake up, how am I going to go into my day, right? Am I going to allow, because I was asleep, right? I was fine. So now I'm waking up and and I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason I'm like that. I don't know the reason, but something happened before that that caused me to be in that mood now.
Mm-hmm.
But they call it waking up on the wrong side of the bed.
Right.
But it could have nothing really to do with you.
Right.
Okay. So I'm trying to work on when I rise in the morning and see you and see your face. I want to start that day off and not create anything that when it's time to go to bed that
Right.
we have to discuss and get through because I allowed myself to be triggered by something else or I said something to trigger you. And now we went through this whole day
Yes.
with this stuff um, just boiling and circling and
Right. Kind
bubbling
of it kind
inside
of
of us.
festers. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I am well acquainted with the there's a term that's called thought, feeling, action.
Mm,
So when you think about something and then it affects how you feel, like a narrative going on in my head might make me feel a particular way, and then I act upon the way that I'm feeling. So that is usually, let's take example, the picture thing, right?
right.
I had a thought in my head, I felt a way, and then I started threatening you jokingly,
Hmm.
but not really
I wasn't
jokingly.
scared.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it started to come out emotionally, and then in my actions by the words that I was using towards you, and ultimately it could have escalated and festered into like me having an attitude the next morning, but I caught it and let it go. So, or changed it or managed it.
Mm,
Sometimes I say manage because there's some people that have like diagnosis that they live with and deal with every day. So sometimes it's manageable. Sometimes you can correct it completely, and then you're done with it. But, and I say that not to discount any kind of mental illness or, you know, um, anxiety someone might have to deal with on a daily basis because it's a little tricky that way. So
and people have anxiety.
yeah, people have anxiety and they have certain thoughts that go on in their head, and some people can, it's easier for some and harder for others. I'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that.
And I used to be on the side of I don't really believe in
Oh, mind over matter stuff.
anxiety. I used to be well, I don't even want to say used to be. I still go throughout my life and my journey with mind over matter.
Mhm.
Just means, hey, if something happens, I got to deal with it. The
Mhm.
thing happened, it's over. I can't do anything about that now. Whether I made the choice myself and it happened to me or some outside force caused it to happen to me.
Right.
But it happened. There's nothing I can do about it now. How do I go forward and figure it out?
Right.
Okay. Just last week, a rock hit the windshield,
Yeah.
right? And the windshield started splitting. Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't cause that to happen. I was just driving.
Right.
Okay. And now I have to go spend this money.
Right.
I didn't want to spend the money,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to be driving around with a cracked windshield.
Right.
Okay. So that thing happened. Now I have to just do what I have to do to take care of it.
Right.
And I try to go into that with, my life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If I say something to you crazy or you say something to me that I deem crazy that might have triggered me, I got to take a second and like, okay, what I'm gonna do about this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is
I mean,
this what
definitely
is
talk
this a
about it.
situation where I need to go off and what is that trigger point?
Right. But
And
sometimes you don't know though. Sometimes you react and then it's like, oh,
right.
wait a minute. So this is why I say it takes time. And this is why we bring up these subjects, because sometimes you don't even realize it. Because some people don't even know what triggered is,
Right.
really in the psychological sense, right? So it's like, why did this happen? What situation or reference does it have, and how can I prevent it from happening again? Because they are basically irrational responses, because it's not the truth of what is actually occurring right in that
Mm,
moment. And so this is why it's important, I believe, that if you're triggered with your spouse, you have that conversation, but you have to know what it is first. So you do that self exploration, you figure out what it is, and then you can go to your spouse and say, hey, so I was triggered by this, so that they then know to take caution whenever using words or phrases that take you back to a particular place. This is just a place of understanding. and that you have that much investment in your person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And, back to the windshield story. So that thing happened to me. I didn't cause it. But what it did is that it put something in my head. And what it put in my head was maybe I should give myself a little bit more space between the car in front of me
right,
and me.
right.
So if a rock flies up,
It doesn't have so
maybe
much
it doesn't hit
momentum
the windshield,
breaking.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do I relate that to a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cause it, but I learned something after this thing happened.
Right.
And then so maybe now I proceed with caution a little bit more in whatever way that I need to.
Right. So you proceed with caution yourself, right?
Right.
And understanding where you get triggered.
Right. Because something happened and it looks kind of like what happened before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I can go into it and say, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit smarter than I was last time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
not react
ease
so
up,
strong.
right? Let me ease back just
Wait,
a little bit.
Are you the triggerer or are you the triggeree at this moment?
Doesn't matter.
No, because there's a line of like if you say something that triggers me,
Mm-hmm.
my response, my control over it is like 90% of it. Okay. Where you as my partner is like 10% because I have control over me. Right. And I shouldn't, whether if it's you or anyone else out there, hand over that power for them to use words or phrases or situations to trigger me in such a way for me to have unhealthy responses. Mm. So I'm pretty much in control most of the time. Having the conversation with you is just basically so that we have that communication, so that you understand, one, why I responded the way I did in the past, and two, how that makes me feel and how I am trying to adjust to it, so that you can be compassionate and sensitive. So that, wait, maybe I shouldn't use that because I want her to listen to what I'm saying versus spiraling down this trigger path. Right. So, right. That would be the responsibility that you may have, but ultimately it lies on me, that control part. And that's just the whole, like, identifying and going through the processes and understanding that I have it within me, my own peace of mind, my own happiness is that my own and my own responsibility. I can't put all that on you.
Right. Well, I think that's a nice cap to today's topic. There's nothing else. Usually I'm the talent, but it was your thing today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think
y'all hear him.
I think you put a button on it.
I put a button on it. Okay.
Button.
I put a button on it.
Oh, what?
A button.
Oh my goodness. Let's give the people back there.
4th of July weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you got Monday off. Hope you got Friday off too.
Yeah. If you do celebrate Independence Day, whatever that might happen to mean to you.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue, time in the park, fireworks, walk in the park with your kids, whatever that means.
You may or may not be patriotic.
That's true. Just, hey, do your thing, enjoy yourself, be safe.
Whatever you do, just be safe.
Be safe
and
out there.
Be good to each other.
Yeah, be safe out there because it's hot. People coming out the house. People are drinking. So please, please, please be careful so you can come back. We can see you. You can see us again. You know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you for listening, you guys. Thank you so much for your support.
Indeed. My man Miguel, loyal. Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Tell everyone.
Yeah.
The We're Gonna Have Words podcast is available where, my love?
All the places. Well, we're available audio on all your podcast listening platforms. We are on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We're here on Facebook, and we have a Facebook page. We have a private group. Yeah, all the things.
Yeah.
So
share.
If you're in our private group, you will have to either share the YouTube link or go to our page and share that, because of course the group page is private.
Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your aunties, your uncles.
Tell them to come. Yeah.
Tell everybody.
Join the group.
We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the beginning of our podcast.
Yes. What did I tell you? What day that was?
You wrote it down. I don't remember. It's not today, but it's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, it's like
1
one of the
year.
teens.
Yep, of doing our podcast, which is
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
because we never thought we'd still be doing this
right.
a year
I
ago.
mean, we still haven't made 100 episodes yet,
That's
but you know,
okay.
cause
That's all right.
somebody, cause listen, it's not me,
Hey,
y'all. It's not me.
we will get there
Oh my
because
goodness, things
life.
grew. July 19th will
July
be our
19th
official year.
for our very first podcast.
Yep, very first
Indeed,
released
indeed.
audio
So everybody that
podcast.
checks us out, thank you very much.
Thank
Oh,
you for watching. Thank you for listening.
can you flip your hair on your side real quick?
Flip my
That side, other side, other
Oh.
side. Yep, yep. Shout out to the Chive.
Oh,
We both have on
KC.
Chive t-shirts today.
Yo,
The Chive. It's just a website that we like to check
keep
out.
calm and chive on.
Yep.
Oh, my bad.
Yep. Got the Bill Murray.
Oh,
That's Bill Murray right there. Yep. And it says keep calm and chive on with the red, white, and blue flag on there, you know, for Independence Day weekend.
They
Red,
probably
white, and
come up
blue.
with so many other designs since then.
Red, white, and blue. Philly, 1776. Y'all didn't catch the reference. That's okay. I gave it to you just now. It's all good. That's why I got on the Philly cap today.
You and your hats.
So good. Yes, me and my hats.
If you guys want to buy us a coffee or contribute to the hat fund, you know, you can find us at Buy Us a Coffee and Ko-Fi.
That's right.
Also, you can help support the whole, you know, production of this thing because your girl.
Oh, I got a fresh one up for the anniversary.
Oh,
Ooh.
you?
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I'm debuting a brand new bucket for the anniversary.
Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Hey,
Until
be good,
then,
everybody.
Make sure you be good.
Indeed.
Bye.